is Knight_Hex, NYGHT_Hex. Let us know if you could shit in a stranger. Let us know how successful you could have been too. And if you're curious, just go ahead and post a Craigslist ad about it, but then like crop it and photobomb it and then send it to us to show proof. And then we'll read responses on next time we play podcast.
If you do that, I would recommend you do it in the fucking misconnections.
Yes! Misconnections. Shit, could you shit?
You went into the bathroom. You clearly had Taco Bell.
Oh my god.
You were so desperate. All I wanted to do was embrace you.
Oh my god.
It's all about the embrace.
I cared for you so much because I felt your pain. Those bean burritos are bitches.
Jesus.
It's all about the embrace, guys. So, I know, Samuel, that you weren't here when we were asking about this. If...
Did you just Google the Google?
Yeah, I don't know
he did. No. You do that all the time.
I know I did. Just to make sure I didn't mistype. Where'd it go? Okay, so, hey, so can anyone else see Liam Neeson being a boss fight in a video game? And if so, which one would you see him as?
Okay, if I say this, I want no judgment.
Oh, no.
You know we have to judge.
We go full judge.
I would love to see Liam Neeson be a boss fight in an Okami sequel.
Oh, Okami?
Yes. Because he already kicked the shit out of some wolves in the gray.
It's like Okami was like an Asian game.
We never saw him. We never actually saw the fight with him and the wolves.
It's Liam Neeson. I have faith. He has a certain set of skills.
Yep.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Don't go to misconnections.
Oh, come on. Let us know, guys. If our Twitch army is out there, do it and then screen tag it, and then we'll read reviews on the next time we post.
My favorite thing is that they have like information about safe sex and STD prevention on Craigslist. Personals, like
that's like the equivalent to having that on the the backdoor page.
If you're like desperate enough for a Craigslist fuck, like, do you really care what you get?
Well, I mean, it's not like they're on Backpage, so
yeah, Backpage those. Well,
because like
you never know.
There are so many like. The one that confuses me the most with Craigslist, though, is, like, stuff where it's, like, M for M and W for W, right?
Yeah.
Like, LGBT hookup ones. Because, like, I saw fucking, like, someone on, like, a Facebook brand who, like, showed their home screen, and it's, like, over half of their fucking home screen were, like, stuff like Bear and, like, Grindr and shit like that. All targeted towards the LGBT community for males.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but there's so many more options for that, like, at least with social media apps that I've seen. Like, there's so many Tinder variants just for that. I'm like, do you really need the Craigslist one too? Like, and if you do you really want to meet those kinds of people?
I mean, I think it comes down to them just not wanting the commitment of having to make a profile.
My biggest fear, though, honestly, is like I don't want another Dahmer situation.
Oh God,
it terrifies me. When I actually looked into that, I was like, terrified.
So, to fill up everyone else because you weren't here again, favorite character from Game of Thrones or scene?
Okay, so like favorite.
You can pull from the book. Either one doesn't matter.
Okay.
Book or book or shows.
Okay, so favorite scene from the books, right? Was because of like where my mind pictured shit, right? Was this part where and hashtag spoilers, I guess. But like, there's a part where like Pudgy Sam, like meets up with Bran and his crew. And, like, takes him through the wall. And they didn't show this in the movie. Yes. It was underground.
Yes.
Like, and, like, all I could picture, because, like, the way to get through the door is to quote the Knight's Oath and shit like that. And, like, all I could think of was those fucking asshole demon doors from the Fable franchise.
Yes!
Yeah. They've got this very grim, dark series, and I'm picturing these like...
And he's like, no. Only someone from the Watch can do this.
Yeah.
And they're
I'm just thinking of those,
who the fuck are you, homie? Like,
very few things that pissed me off is those fucking demon doors from Fable. I swear to the gods. Like, just couldn't...
I would have to say Arya for mine, but the scene that I liked best is when she went up against Bran? No, not Bran.
Brienne?
Brienne
of Tarth.
Yeah. Yeah, their fight scene where they wanted to play fight where she was just a dagger and a fencing weapon, and that's all it took against a long sword that she had. Yeah, her needle.
And like favorite character, I don't really have a favorite character per se, but like group of characters, right? ever since their introduction, I have been a huge fanboy for the Brotherhood Without Banners.
Yes. Okay.
Like, these ragtag
Sons of bitches.
Since fucking Ned, most morally kind of decent fucks in the entire series.
Well, for the most part.
Okay, there is another scene from the books that I really, really liked, right? Because it was just so what the fuck fascinating. It was this scene, I can't remember who it was with, but like Cersei was like hooking up with this other chick. And like she was like, and it's totally an SFW, right? And she was fingering this girl, like finger banging this girl, and she was imagining her fingers as like a boar's tusk, specifically the boar that gored Robert. Like fucking this bitch. Like that was what her mind was going. It was like that movie quote, like imagining like goring the fuck out of this bitch through the vagina. And I was like that was like to me like Cersei, you went off the deep end way before the TV showed you going off the goddamn deep end.
Clearly.
Oh.
Cersei's a mess.
Hey guys, on the Twitch chat, those are our new emoticons that just got approved by Twitch. These are the ones from our sponsor, Callistia, also known as Callie. If you go to our Facebook or Twitch panel, just click on it. It's the I shit crits roll.
That dog wants your ass.
Like rabbit crack.
Gotham always wants my ass. But it's the no roll cinnamon bun, the rupee, and the oops I fucked up tombstone. We throw that up there when the healer like me forgets to heal the party. Kiko can understand that because I'll forget sometimes that he's around. So okay, guys, nothing. Don't worry about it. Go back to your Ultima.
What would you say?
Shuts.
I forget to heal you sometimes when you're in the tank.
Yeah, you do.
So hey guys, if you have
How
control,
do you
if you guys
heal the tank? He is your priority.
No, let's be honest. When someone doesn't do what he needs to do in a party, he just sits back and lets everyone else
Let's be
die.
more honest.
I do that too
Hex
in the
is
tank.
selfish.
If my DPS just starts running out in front of me,
selfish.
I fucking let him die.
You are not a team player.
No, by no means I'm not. I run the Master Merchants Guild. The coin is the only team player in my view.
Okay,
I thought you were supposed to play out of character, like something different.
I'm gonna say
Oh,
right
fuck.
now. I'm gonna say like right now. If we actually discuss 18, I will go on that shit forever.
We'll touch it briefly.
Yeah,
We'll cross it like the
2
stone.
minutes. I will time you.
Okay,
That's
guys,
fair.
listen. If you're a professional thief and you manage to jack the key to the TARDIS,
yes.
what the fuck would you do with it?
Oh, girl, I'll tell you.
Tell me, girl.
I would go back and fix some shit that I have done. you know, they say you're not supposed to have any regrets in life. That's a bunch of bullshit. Everybody has regrets. I would go back and fix a couple things and make myself rich in the meantime. Let's be honest. I would totally do that. I would take the selfish route.
Okay, so like everyone talks about shit like kill Hitler and stuff like that, like these big world-changing events. Everyone always jumps to those things, right? Like the one thing that always reoccurs to me with like time travel that I keep thinking, like my brain keeps jumping back to doing, is like literally like go back to 1990, 2 years before I was born, and like at this point, not even talking about buying, just fucking steal them because fuck it, I'm time machine. Unopened boxes of Magic the Gathering Alpha.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because like it's such a subtle way to make myself rich now.
Yeah.
Like if I had one trip, that's the trip. I don't know why. I wouldn't do anything earth-shattering. I wouldn't go like watch the Lincoln assassination or like watch. Okay, the second thing that I would do if I had 2 trips for it, right? I would like to take some popcorn and like a lawn chair and go like watch any like battle that involved Alexander the Great because like they said that he fucking ran so far ahead of his troops. He would be. I want to see that like Matrix level he had to pull to stay alive when the rest of his army is like 50 fucking yards away trying to play catch up with the motherfucker. Like I want to see how he did it.
I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I might even also go back and troll my parents a little. I mean, think about it. Wow, that was rough. I bet they picked it up. That was
Probably.
Yeah, no, I would
I'd
probably
be like,
smack the box of Twinkies out of my hand back then.
Oh my god.
Like thinking about it now, like I can pinpoint the day that I got fat. Now. I'd be like, nah, dude, you need to put that down.
Oh, like the first time like a parent let you have soda. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the fucking first McDonald's burger. Like, you don't need this. Here's, have a salad.
That stuff makes me want to throw up nowadays.
I just ate Taco Bell today.
I wouldn't travel through time on the TARDIS.
Look at this Taco Bell.
I'd park it at the edge of a black hole.
Ooh.
And then I drive the fucker into it because I want to see what happens.
my
That's the
God.
only piece of equipment.
Well, one of them
Strong
we can
enough.
tell which one of our crew is dark enough to be like,
No
I'm
shit.
gonna kill myself.
So, like,
Let's go.
So, like,
What
before-
two things is going to happen? I'm going to die. I'm going to live.
okay, so like
You'll surely die.
a weird place. When I said Parkland Black Hole, like you remember those like fucking like children's hospital coin things where it does like the fucking cyclone,
Yeah.
like toilet drain shit. Like, if you did that before you jump into the black hole, right? The equivalent of it, just like stand right there at the edge of the TARDIS and just like jerk off and just come into the black hole
no!
and just watch it just
circle around.
For
That'd be
eternity.
right.
But
Oh,
like
Jesus.
video record it and be like, motherfucker, I jerked off in a black
Just-
hole. You have
And
nothing
hashtag,
on me.
hashtag that ain't a comet's tail.
Oh my
Just
God.
imagine, like, because if it randomly hit a passerby alien, it'd be the most epic facial ever.
Mhm.
You would win facial king.
And also probably be like the progenitor of a whole new.
This
Oh, yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
species.
your genetic code's stamped everywhere.
Okay, guys.
Always,
real talk
too.
for real people. What
Okay.
fucking Harry Potter house are you guys in?
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Fuck. Yeah, I already know what you're in.
Do you
Snake
know what-
girl.
Do you know what you're in?
The Griffin. No.
Yeah, you're
oh,
Gryffindor.
Fucking A.
I'm actually, whenever I do it, I'm always half and half of Ravenclaw and Slytherin. But mostly it ticks a little bit more towards
Slytherclaw.
Slytherin. Yeah, well, I guess J.K. Rowling posted a thing like, yeah, a lot of Slytherins are a little bit in the Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean,
she
I
said that's
suspect
why
all-
Ilvermorny is, which is the American house, is actually a combination of Slytherin and Ravenclaw. So like the Brainiacs, but also those that want to achieve the greatness
Okay.
are always in the
Okay.
Horned Serpent.
What there was a thing I saw, I think it was like a Tumblr post, like really definitely submitted my house ideology, I guess, right? And it was like, Gryffindor, I'll die for you. Slytherin, I'll gladly sacrifice you so I don't have to die. Ravenclaw, I'll cleverly figure out a way so neither one of us will die.
How am I here?
And like Hufflepuff's like, we'll die together.
Christ.
Yeah.
I
So,
just-
the
I just
fucking
imagine
lemmings of the
fucking
group.
happy. And like, okay, they're obviously the fucking stoner house. They're the animal house of Harry Potter.
They're right
I mean-
by the
Kitchen.
When it's
The herbology teacher is the fucking professor.
yeah.
They're the nicest people. They're always happy. Everyone thinks they're a
Not
little-
that's not always true.
more or less. Okay,
Okay, so well, we're going to touch roots because I know my gaming experience goes back way in the 90s when my brother introduced me to Mega Man on Nintendo when I first had it. What was the best magical item that you guys had ever found in a game, tabletop or video game, or weapon in general for any horror? What best weapon that you guys, like, you always fucking remember and you always search for it in the next video game that you find and look for, like, the equivalent of it? Because I know that for me, I was always a dagger guy, so the Vorpal phasing daggers were always fun because I'd throw it and it'd phase out and then it'd still hit you.
I ran a high school D&D game where like one of the most popular items for the group was fucking like it was totally ripped from it, but like the dagger time from Prince of Persia.
Yeah,
Like that,
yes.
Like and like I fucking hardcore limited how far back it could rewind shit because that would get way too out of hand way too quickly. Annoying as fuck. Like that one was a really big one. Back in high school D&D,
He's jerking off
Right.
rapidly.
Oh,
back in like
Into
back in
it.
like high school D&D,
He's
katanas
getting
were
into
super
it.
big because every fucking one of my like D&D players was super and otaku like we motherfucker. So like katanas flying everywhere, and I was also in that list because I had a bad DM moment. Right, I had a DM PC back in high school, and that was a terrible thing to do, and I hate myself for it to this day. Never want that. I can't fucking think of any like super item that stuck with me
Me
throughout
neither.
video.
Oh.
Like
Me
except
neither.
for maybe
God
like,
damn.
Fire enchanted.
like okay,
That's always good.
one of the big things maybe was like the fucking Blades of Chaos from the God of War franchise when I was like in middle school, high school. Like that shit was.
Yeah.
I wanted those. I don't care if they're like permanently burnt into my arm. Like
Actually, I do
I
have
could
one.
helicopter with them.
Living weapons. I played a game,
Yeah.
Tales of Destiny.
Mhm.
It had the living swords in
I know
it,
exactly what you're
and
talking
I've
about.
been a fan of that ever since.
Intelligent items in D&D are kind of like the similar, close
Yeah.
to that you're going to get to
It's a very like really obscure game considering how popular the franchise is. But there was a trilogy on PS2 for the .hack GU games,
that.
Huh?
Yes.
and I grew up with JRPGs.
I think everyone
Ever
did.
since-
well,
ever since-
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
kind of
a,
the
I'm
sheltered
not a fan.
one wife.
Yep.
like fucking Final Fantasy like 3/1, you know, for in SNES
Yep.
was one of my shits, and then Final Fantasy 7 when PS1 came out and shit like that.
Yep.
But like when I played the .hack GU series, have you guys played that?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There's that fucking scene where that one girl dies and you get the honeysuckle daggers. And
Oh,
like,
the arena champion.
the arena champion girl, like she gives you the honeysuckle dagger after like you fight like a couple of missions before, and you find out what the honeysuckle means flower language wise, and like those like that fucking part was so like heart wrenching for me, right? I used those daggers when I was way over leveled. Like I should have had better gear by then. Like
Yeah.
I should have like changed them out like 6 times. I was still fucking rocking those things.
Oh,
even
hey.
though-
Speaking
Instead
of
of-
GU though,
Remake.
have you heard? Yes.
Yes.
With the
Fuck
4th
yeah.
chapter.
Yeah, I'm going to fucking pre-order that shit like
Mhm.
next paycheck.
I know it's a little out, but how about this? First game that really got you addicted. Like I know, like I remember being sick one day, and my dad came in with Final Fantasy IX, and he was like, "Here you go," because I had walking pneumonia at the time, and I was bored of my mind. Beat fucking Pokemon like 2 or 3 times at this point because I was out for almost a month of school. He got it for me.
PS4 by the way.
Huh?
9's coming to PS4 now.
Yes. I like it because I would rather not have to buy it on Steam or ROM. But like the scene from Final Fantasy IX where the guy, half his teammates become petrified.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like that was the cry point for me when I was a kid because I was like, oh, touch the feeling.
Touch the nerve.
I was like, and then that was the hook for me because I was on the board, I was on the line of it, and I was like, I'm not sure if I like this game, but I hit that, and I was like, that totally flipped the script for me, and I was like, I have to rescue him.
There is a okay. So I have this weird fucking mentality where certain games like the Dark Souls franchise,
Fucking hate.
I will
Dark
like
Souls.
walk the fuck away so quickly, right? But
He
like,
just hates them because he can't get through them.
I can't. I
I've
can't.
beaten them all.
I fail at Dark Souls.
No,
I
Hardcore.
like Dark Soul.
Mhm.
I can fucking like play those
Yeah.
games, right?
The
But
game
like,
was so gay. I played it. It was so stupid.
I like to play
Sorry.
if I play it on the prepared edition for PC. I use the mod for like the friendly death messages because like the "you died" was so fucking like.
Are you
fuck
the
yeah.
dick that put the fake message there and I hit a trap?
Yes.
I hate you.
Surely this man knows what he's talking about.
One of my favorite messages is like, "Thanks, Obama," but like, okay, so weirdly enough, like the first game that really got me becoming a gamer, like really got me addicted to video games and stuff like that, SNES back in the '90s, Donkey Kong Country
Really?
is because there's no real fucking plot to it. It's
Nah.
a goddamn side-scrolling platformer, but like there was something about like the like so close when you miss jumps, triggers, and shit like that. That was just like infuriated me enough to just keep me going. Like stuff like so like that like the other games I had back then were shit like I had DK Country. I had like the Final Fantasy like 3 back when it was America's called 1, and then I got Mortal Kombat. And like
Oh, no.
Oh.
Mortal Kombat got boring to me because none of my friends could beat me anymore.
No, same thing with Street Fighter for me.
Like fucking, and the worst part is like I mostly played a character that's like universally kind of shat on nowadays. Fucking Jax.
Yes,
Combat
yeah.
was so easy.
Everyone like to fucking bitch about calling a piece of shit character lore wise and combo wise and stuff like that. But like I played him. I fucking like because I had a friend who's like, I always want to be a Scorpion, or like Raiden. I can't remember.
Raiden doing
Yeah, Raiden. I
the
want
fucking
to be Raiden.
the-
Fucking cock.
fly move that used to do across the screen and hit you regardless. I know, Liz. I know you had one.
I do,
Oh,
actually.
and the chick with like the tits and the weird monster mouth. I can't remember her name.
For some reason, Katana came to my mind when you said that. That's not right.
You know what I'm talking about, like, right?
Jade.
No.
No.
It was the other girl. It was the girl with the
What?
size, right? No, not size. The
I know who he's talking about. I can't
I know
remember
who
the
you're
name.
talking about.
Yeah, she had like
It was
a like
M
Persian-y-
something.
Persian-y fucking like face mask thing and like ripped off. It's like,
Can't remember.
terrified me. That was the same.
what was
That's-
yours?
Mine is actually kind of weird. Like, I have a few that really, it slowly snowballed, I guess, for me. I think everybody can kind of feel that, like, where we kind of diddled around with games and then you find that one game that, like, kind of gets you hooked. For me, weirdly enough, it was Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
It was tits, right?
Huh?
It was
It was
the tits.
you got me. It was a little bit of the tits. And also, maybe you guys will know which one I'm talking about, too. I had kind of played around with Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, like different games, and then we had some demos that we like to play on our PlayStation. But there was one where you could have her go home and train in her manor.
Uh-huh,
And then
yes,
the
I remember
fucking
that one.
butler, and you
You're
could
thinking about
trick
Paulina.
his ass to go in the fucking freezer. Okay, so Sarah and I, my sister, and my brother would watch sometimes. Like, I would go through and make this fucking butler follow me, and then you can hear him like, oh, like with every step that like he missteps while he's carrying this clinking water. I would have him follow me into the freezer, shut him in, and then we'd go. I'd have my character Lara Croft go running around all throughout the grounds, and then inevitably, for some fucking reason, every once in a blue moon, the fucker got out, and we would like scream our heads off. Suddenly, you would hear like the glass clinking. We would just start screaming, but that was like that always kind of. Having those intermediate moments where we could go back into the manor and just fuck around, that made it fun.
That's funny. That's funny that you
Can you
say
guys hear
it.
me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are thinking of Molina.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank
Yes,
you, sir.
it did start with
I'm a
I
Mortal
knew-
Kombat fan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So like, you say that, and like the me that's worked in restaurants for a part of her life, like there's a giant red like release button, and that's how the reason why I took him so long is like, do I put the trays down or do I
Yeah.
to save my life? Do I put the trays down or do I save my life? It was him just
Yeah.
having this like
Yeah,
fucking
there's-
existential crisis.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we imagined it was. But, like, in between that and also, like, the way you could make her move, you know, and the fact that, like, if you weren't careful, she would just break her neck, and it was so fucking dramatic when she died.
I remember
You know what,
that.
though?
Like,
It
you
made it
actually
so
fell off
fun.
the edge of something.
And then you just be, you know,
Now-
and then not only that, there's a lot of things that you had to solve puzzles, and that's what got me into puzzle solving. And I've not looked back. That's kind of
Oh,
like
see,
what
okay,
I like
so
to do.
like that right there is part of the reason why Lara Croft and Tomb Raider is part of the reason why later on games like made sense. Like I was explaining to a coworker about like why the God of War franchise hits every like gamer
Yeah.
nerd in me because it's
Me too.
it's overly violent and sexualized,
Yep.
red-blooded American male. So
Well,
it's
Shit,
got
I thought you were
classic.
Asian.
It's got classic puzzle traps and
you
shit.
can be
like that.
Asian and American at the same
It's
time.
got
You Nazi.
It's got that crazy.
Hashtag Nazi hacks.
It's got that crazy like combo counter, Dynasty Warrior, Samurai Warrior style shit, where it's like build every fucking combo. You
You
see
see.
a little ticker going.
Yeah.
So like all these, and at its core, that game was a platformer. First
Didn't,
and
didn't it have
foremost.
Yeah.
sex scenes in it, though,
Yes,
too?
it
It did. Yes,
Button
it did.
smashing sex scenes.
I posted one of those in Savage Memes recently. I don't know if you guys saw. It's him whispering into the girl's
Shatter.
voice like XX00 up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, not only do you have Affinity Lives, but you now have a family.
Mhm.
Woohoo! Achievement unlocked.
I love that game so much.
Yo, did you guys know that the next update for PS4, you'll be able to back play PS1 games?
Okay, I didn't know where he was going with it after I said that. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, like I could put a disc in and play, or do I have to download damn things again?
Fun
Yeah,
fact,
you did.
Miku.
Dude, you need to stop. with that shit
Backplay for
yourself.
digital. I'm gonna buy all the Final
Yeah.
Fantasies for PlayStation 1.
See, that's annoying me because I
Right.
just got all my PlayStation 1 games back.
Wait,
No.
what is it now? I wasn't paying attention.
Backplay.
The next major update, I think it's like 5.24 something like that. They're gonna make PS1s backwards compatible for PS4, like they do
So,
with PS3.
will we need the disc, or will we have to go out and buy a download like what Wii U does?
Digital.
Fucking Christ.
I don't know. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna take that back. I don't know because I've always just bought it digital. It's just cheaper that way for me.
No.
I already own all the damn games I want to play.
Yeah, there's a bunch I want to rebuy, like the Twisted Metal series. I love that.
My
That
girl, my
Vigilante
fiance
8.
likes those.
I farted. I'm sorry.
You're shitting your pants over there. What
I
are you
know,
doing?
dude. It's the Taco Bell already.
Well,
It's
okay,
hitting you bad.
that's almost the moot point. To me
You're
because,
about to shit in front of a stranger here in a minute, and that ain't gonna hug you.
That's almost the moot point for me because like I just bought the fucking Insane trilogy a couple months ago for PS4.
And say what?
The Crash Bandicoot remake shit.
Oh yeah, I haven't played. I haven't,
I
had a
haven't
chance to
played
play
that
it though.
either.
You can borrow it
Oh,
whenever
yeah,
you
no.
want.
I
I'm
would like to
I'm
try.
across the street.
I just bought Cuphead.
Ugh.
Fuck that game. I didn't have a controller. I had a keyboard.
Oh god.
That's hard as shit, and it reminds me of that goddamn Mickey Mouse game on Super
I
Nintendo.
have a
Hex, why do you
I do
play
too, I have
these
a
like
PS4.
low budget games, dude? I need to know this.
Let's be honest. That low budget indie game just mass produced $20 a pop, and then hit over 1 million viewers
Yeah.
on Twitch, and
Yeah.
has still continuously streamed and almost doubled its value on digital downloads. That indie developed game is probably sitting at a 16th version of what Blizzard was when it released WoW at this point, of the hype factor that it's been on. That's
I
how
just don't
that's
see
how
how.
quick,
It's
just
just
like
me.
Meat Boy,
I
Super
don't
Meat
play
Boy,
with
and Fez I think that those two right there skyrocketed, and they're still they're not in development, but they're still producing games, I believe. Fez might not be, but I know Super Meat Boy is. But I mean, it's a great throwback game because it reminded me of that fantasy Mickey Mouse game that was like you're going through all the fucking fairy tale things like Jack and the Beanstalk version, but it was all Mickey Mouse and you had to go with power ups, kind of like a weird knockoff version of the Super Mario where you dropped on your little thing. Same platform thing, man. It's just a side scroll. You hit up, down, you hold down, you drop down a platform. Boss is the same too. That took up half the fucking screen like a Metroid boss. You had to dodge everything. I was like, my keyboard skills are failing me right now. I was like, I didn't even pass the first level. I was like, I'm gonna need a controller.
I've
for this
heard that
shit.
game is like wicked hard.
That's
Yeah.
And there's 3 modes on it.
actually
There's 3 fucking modes on it.
actually like one of my favorite kind of indie. I think it counts indie, but PC games made me go out and fucking buy a goddamn controller. Hyper Light Drifter.
Yes.
It's basically a fucking 16-bit Dark Souls.
Speaking of Dark Souls, I'm horrible at it.
Okay.
I can't beat it.
I'm not.
I can't
great.
beat PvP, but I can definitely go through the campaign.
Then you would actually have you heard of the Nihil game that came out?
Yeah, I've
It's
actually
basically
picked that one up.
Japanese Dark Souls, and I really want to get it.
Gameplay is similar.
Well, because
Is that NIOH?
Yeah, NI-OH.
yeah,
Okay.
and, just in the same way that the old fucking game that no one remembers called Rogue created Rogue-like, because of Dark Souls, there's now a Souls-like genre that's growing in development.
It's just an action RPG.
Well, yes, see, but the fucking
The thing that defines it is death with consequences.
Yes.
It's not just game over, reload. It's like game over. It's you died, now get back there or die.
Feel free to put a
Yeah.
segment if you want to. Okay, you don't have to post. This is just for my reference.
But
I wrote down.
I get that. Like that's
Like the one that of all the Souls-like games that have come out recently, the one I do not want to play is the Surge. I believe it's what
Yeah.
it's called. It didn't really appeal. to me.
Speaking of cool games that just released, so if you have a PlayStation Plus, Metal Gear Solid
I need to
is
download.
I just downloaded and the full collection of Amnesia.
Huh.
I've not played it.
I'm-
Fiendish told me that PewDiePie played it. It's another one to add to our horror collections. I have no idea what it's about.
I might download that one
No.
for the missus. She likes that game series.
no,
But
no.
those survival horror games never piqued my interest. Gotcha.
Oh yeah,
always-
'cause
always-
you never touch it when you're here Saturday if you don't have to.
They're not fun for me at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I
like
know.
Diablo's a different version of it's not really a
Diablo,
survival horror.
I-
It's more of like an RPG horror.
Yeah, I could do RPG
Dolphin
horror.
RPG?
What happened to your
Yeah.
whatever happened to your Mario RPG on Thursdays?
Yeah, I have it still going. I need to focus on it. So we're changing a few things up. Twitch is just mainly staying as live stream. We're doing solo plays for YouTube, and I'm gonna edit them, and throw those up on there. I'm trying to figure out a way to hit all of my multimedia, even though I'm affiliated, because I can't live stream, but I can record and then upload. So I figured we'll keep a lot of the special events to live stream, like the giveaways and stuff like that.
This would be done by now.
I know. I'm sorry, sir. But hey, you know what, guys? Let's pull this back to the tabletop, because I know I introduced my wife when we first met. I mean, I knew she knew about it, but you didn't really have a hand in a whole lot of it until we started playing.
Mm-hmm.
I like how your wife wants to play just to see me be a bitch. Like that made me
Um,
happy.
She really wanted to come last weekend, but
Well,
she's been
So-
dealing with
with your
medication issues.
Fiendish, with your growing with this and playing, and the veterans at the table. Like, how bad do you
So
think
you-
the digital age of electronics has affected gameplay at the table?
I don't.
Do you
I don't think it
incorporate
has.
it? Do you not incorporate it? Do you ban it? Because I have a horror story when I came from Game Preserve, or Game Times before they closed down, where the guy, the DM, because he was registered with Adventure's Path for D&D when 5th edition came out, banned everything that was electronics, including books too, on top of that. Like, you did your character, you put the book away, you were never allowed to touch a book, even for rules or anything like that.
Okay, no, that's toxic.
Yeah, it was extremely
Yeah.
toxic. It was extremely fucking hard too, because I was like, well, I'm gonna buy like some lockpicks and stuff. I was like, I understand that you could throw me the number, like, right, but they're running pre-made modules through the thing, so everything's already pretty much running from the core books.
Huh.
I just want to know, like, because like I like electronics.
Okay,
I have a tablet with my
I don't-
character sheet on it. So I mean, I can
Okay,
understand how it can be like taken
I-
away from the aesthetics.
I used to once upon a time. What really burnt me for electronics for the longest time was back in 2008 to 2010 when I was playing high school 3.5. I know 4th edition technically was out by then, but I was with a group that was fucking hardcore third, and would fight me on it. So 3.5, all the third party shit.
Mm-hmm.
Go to fucking Pirate Bay, 13 gig
Yeah.
fucking torrent of like
All the books, including modules and everything
and
else.
that right there drove me insane because like there was these like hashtag Ariel whole new world
Mm-hmm.
of fucking shit that is like I didn't
Including
know
the
about.
including
I
the
like the fucking
third-party books.
Legends and Layers, anything like Green Ronin, Frog God,
Dante Cook
Dante
stuff.
Cook, shit like. And so what happened with that for me was like, I was suddenly faced with all these things that when you fucking cross-reference, you have these broken, insanely powerful god characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the worst things, example is 3.5 Bestial Samurai. It's a homebrew thing that's super totally broken. I hate it so much. And
I feel that way about a lot of homebrew. Though.
yeah, yes,
It is because regardless of homebrew,
And then,
when
like-
someone makes homebrew, they're designing it to buff their fucking main personality.
Yeah, exactly. And then so fucking fast forward, and like for a long time I was anti-tech. And I was, "Argh." And then I started like, I started bringing my laptop along because of one fucking little app, and I recommend anyone who plays tabletop download this app. Give the guy fucking $10 to register and get it more like. It's called the Ever-Changing Book of Names. It is a
Nice.
small little fucking thing, and all it is a goddamn name generator. And
It's an app, you said?
yes, and all this shit he pulls for it, right, is so insane. Because what it does is he fucking spent hours and hours and hours back in like 2003 logging names from different cultures. And what it does is it'll take those names, it'll partially give you a list of some of the real names, and then other than scramble it using an algorithm like this sounds what like an Italian name would sound like, or a Roman name would sound like. And you have so many fucking cultures from both fantasy and real life history. It goes so goddamn deep. And like that was my first like foray into using tech. Was like I had to use my laptop for it, and then I got Amazon Prime and started paying for Amazon Music and all the video game OSTs. Like most of my gamers are gamers, so I started using video game OST soundtracks for scenes and stuff like that to help them like people who like played a shit ton of like Final Fantasy. Okay, you're fighting this insane boss. Let's play Dancing Mad, but from fucking FF6 with Kefka. And suddenly they're like, oh shit, this guy's fucked up in the head. That was literally one of the responses I got was, oh shit. Because they knew exactly what that song was, they knew exactly the kind of person that repped that song, so they were already kind of scared. I've used a beautiful melodramatic song from Mad Max Fury Road called the Many Mothers song. It's a very beautiful, heartbreaking song, but we have melodramatic moments in the game. It's great for especially when like we're having like dark backstory character exposition scenes and stuff like that. Really cranks up the drama. On top of that, I love ambient sound effects. Like I literally pulled the sound files from the ambient music from the Skyrim game. I pulled those out of the fucking like list of the directories and shit.
Do you guys have a favorite soundtrack that you guys remember from playing a video game? Like horror or like...
Yes.
Interestingly enough, I do.
Yeah?
From a PlayStation 2 game called Eternal Poison. I don't know if you guys
Never
ever
heard
heard
of
of
it.
it.
No.
It was a turn-based strategy game. It was the art style was kind of fairy tale bookish.
Okay.
And there's one song in it that I just loved. It's called Libertine. It's this lounge music like song.
Interesting. I was always a fan of the Chrono Cross.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one.
I like that. I mean, Final Fantasy got on my nerves a lot, especially 7, because you're stuck in the old turn-based boom, 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 and I was like, oh, this is driving me nuts. So, but Chrono Trigger, it kind of kept it fresh in that beat though. Like it switched out between different ones off and on.
Actually, for me with 7, I want to interject right there. The fucking track, which by the way, ironically, is called "Still More Fighting," is the name of that piece. Never bothered me. You actually bothered me more with FF7. The like spray paint can sounding fucking like noise that would when it go from like the overworld chibi view into the battle screen. Is that like that actually
Triggered Gotham.
that actually see battle. He knows.
There was one.
He is woke.
Oh, also
Okay.
a song I loved
Just like
was
a sister.
it was the opening song
That's
to
the one I buy
Final
every
Fantasy
month.
X.
Huh?
The opening song to Final Fantasy X.
That one was so
The
cool.
metal one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that.
It's called Otherworld. That's what it was.
Okay.
Otherworld.
Okay. So one of my favorite, and like, for long, like the FF7 was the first one made me really recognize game music.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Game music?
Like that was one that made me first really recognize video game music.
Okay.
Like I heard the other stuff beforehand, but
It doesn't click with me. So I'll there's a.
I'll have to hear a lot though before it registers.
Okay, like so, and like I understand, like for licensing reasons, we can't example shit.
Yeah.
But like, look up the music from the Uncharted video games. I know it's more of a modern game series, but the music for that is so great. Because like one of my favorite things about it is like the main theme / Nate's theme from the Uncharted series, right? Is so cool because it's low brass, and that just reminds me of old school movies like Ben-Hur, fucking Ten Commandments sounding, like using the low brass to represent this is the hero. Musically, that was the thing. Like musically, the heroes in classic cinema was represented by like trombones, trumpets, tubas, and shit like brr, 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 sounding shit. So like trumpeting the hero's arrival kind of thing. And so because of that, I was very, very fascinated because like that was such an old school callback. Like you have to be kind of a fucking movie nerd to recognize this video game nerd reference. And like, they had like the right types of pull at the heartstrings musically. They knew how to pull on the heartstrings with music. They had to get you shit, fuck, run.
Another interesting thing is Dark Souls 3. I don't know if you've ever noticed it.
Badass soundtrack too.
The bosses have 2 stages to them that are unannounced except by the music. For the first stage, it's one song, and then they ramp it up in their rage mode.
Okay, I had to think about this. Like my all-time favorite, like if you watch Top Charts, is like my all-time favorite video game soundtrack. Not because of like music is grand, don't get me wrong, right? But it's because how they use the music for it, right? Shadow of the Colossus.
That was a great.
And the reason why isn't because of the music. It's because like when you're not fighting on the Colossus, there's nothing. There's no sounds other than like the ambient like bird chirping and the hooves of Auto fucking running.
Kind of
It's
distinguish
empty.
it
It's
from
like
the battle.
The game gave a very distinct sense
You
of
are alone.
alone.
You are alone. You are nothing.
Isolated.
You are a blip on this goddamn world. And it was a very almost nihilistic theme in a lot of ways. Like Carl saying you are the dot kind of comment.
Yeah.
And it was like, but when the fucking fights would happen,
fight
these badass fucking tracks would just rip on with the strings, and I was just like, oh my god, oh shit, oh god, what up. Like,
You're getting raped?
yeah, I was.
With
The Titan, yes.
Did you have one
the
of
final boss,
I have a
yes.
few actually.
Lay them on us.
So the first one, definitely a survival horror.
Mainly Nate's theme.
You guys probably don't know it, unless if you've heard Sarah talk about it or me, but it's Haunting Ground. It is a Capcom game, but the music in it.
What was it called?
Haunting Ground. It is a Capcom survival horror. It's a girl named Fiona and her dog, and they're going through this crazy mansion. It's a lot of alchemy, theology going on. It's actually a really good game, and at the time, it was actually a pretty what's the word I'm looking for?
DMC3 soundtrack.
It was a very big game.
DMC has always had fantastic.
And I don't mean in popularity. It was just a very large, very detailed game. You can tell they put a lot of thought into this. But the soundtrack to it is in-fucking-sane. So it is one of those games. It really kind of started a lot of the chase types of games where your character would meet different people. Different people would chase you. Each character that chased you had a different soundtrack. But before the soundtrack would start, and I'm not just getting into like the regular, like the ambient sounds and like the sounds, like they have certain songs for different characters that come on. But for the chases, your character would have to hide, or they could fight, or the dog could fight. Right before a boss.
Your sister's ranting about that dog.
Oh yeah.
The dog is the real hero of that game.
Yes, he is. He really is. Especially if you train him well. But right before a boss will start chasing you and stalking you, the only hint you get that you are being stalked is dead silence suddenly in the game, except for the ambient sounds like the crickets or the wind or your boots clicking.
Sounds like almost like Silent Hill.
Yeah, it gets dead quiet, and
Except
that's
you
how
can't
you
hit
know
things.
that whoever you're currently battling is listening for you.
That pairs with Shadow of the Colossus in the sense like there's actually a discussion about how in like music theory where like the absence of sound is still a sound.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like there's that one piece where it's like 3 minutes and 27 seconds. It's literally just the fucking pianist will go to the piano, pull up the tailcut, sit down, and then just.
Yeah.
sit quietly. And
Yeah.
the actual piece is whatever the ambient noises of the performance hall are making, like people coughing and muffling and shuddering.
Right.
That's the whole piece. It's this very like postmodern.
And I've got to say, like, and the people that
I'd be pissed to see if I
the
This
people
is
that
not a fight.
chase you in the game, their soundtrack that plays as they are actively following you once they finally like the actual character like finds where you are. When their chase scene, like for that particular person, when their music plays, it is fucking terrifying. And each one is so perfectly fitted to the monster type. I mean, they weren't really monsters. They were actually mostly people that were chasing them. But they are so perfectly fitted. And, I mean, other than that, go ahead.
But like, cause like that kind of stuff, like those kind of moments are like really impactful. Like, and like call back to earlier, we talked about the GE video games that you need to play. I will let you borrow it when I'm done beating the trilogy on the fucking PS4. But like, there were these places, and like I can never like Hulsgrond Cathedral, and you had to go there.
The
by
really named places.
yeah, like the fucking like you have to go like hidden, forbidden, and it was like these peaceful places. Like there were no like mobs to fight and shit like that. There's just like cute, beautiful like scenery,
Twilight
peaceful
Cathedral.
like beautiful, quiet places, and they would play these gorgeous fucking like choir tracks and shit.
Yeah.
And I remember distinctly, like when I was like 15, 16 years old, going to those locations and just sitting, like leaving the PS2 on, and like my TV on to play the volume, and like that would I just sit there and read or meditate and shit like that, and just kind of like absorb and like so like those fucking like tracks, like those ones especially, like those ones are more memorable than any of the fight sequence tracks, the boss battle tracks, because like something about how peaceful and blissful and very like, you know, like yogi music sounding they were, that just like made me happy, especially during a time when I was fucking edgy and depressed and lonesome.
Right.
Hey guys, welcome to the stream. If you're just joining us, this is Hex. We are Epic Loot Guild, but we're working on a name. That doesn't really sound good. I needed something. And the Twitch chat is a Discord link for us. If you guys want to talk live with us, our moderator is on with us as well. Just jump into the public stream. Discord's open to anyone. So not behind a paywall, not behind anything like that. So feel free, join us in our community at ELG, Epic Loot Games. Right now, we're just discussing the many finer points of the soundtracks that we fell in love with when we were playing games. But really, we're open to any kind of topic. I have a massive list. This is a no-filter stream, guys. So lay it on us. Jump into the chat, talk, do whatever you want. PM me if you don't want to. If you don't want to chat in there, understandable. It's all good.
Right. I would like to make a comment that I find very fascinating, because a lot of video games use orchestra music for soundtracks.
I think the majority of them do.
Especially the bigger scale kind of shit, like FF7, Uncharted, stuff like that, and like AAA stuff likes to do that. And like it makes like looking at it now, because we're talking about this kind of shit. Like me becoming both like through video games becoming both a classical music fan, but also at the same time a metalhead, because like I actually was just reading a study a couple months ago talking about like heavy metal has more in common with classical music than any other genre in the world. And like one of the best examples, and it's a cliche example by this point, look at the remake for One Winged Angel on the Advent Children movie, and like it's a seamless blend of like, or if you look at bands like fucking Nightwish or Epica, you can see
just listen to anything done by the Black Mages.
Yeah, the Black Mages, fucking.
They've taken all of the basically Final Fantasy soundtracks. They mix it with the classical and heavy metal.
And like
the band's called Black Mages?
The Black Mages.
And at the same time, if you like any kind of like fantasy and nerd shit in your music, right? Go look up a fucking band from Germany called Blind Guardian. They will sing about everything from Lord of the Rings to Game of Thrones to fucking Peter S. Beagle novels.
I do want to interject.
Oh my god, Crimson Cream.
Have you guys heard Serge Tankin's
the Hakiri one or whatever?
No, the Lord of Castamere, the House of Castamere.
No,
I think
the Winds of Castamere. You know what song I'm talking. The Reigns of Castamere, which is a song from Game of Thrones. Please Google. Okay, unfortunately, the quality is not going to be that great.
I have played Silent Hill before, Kiko.
But it is the Reigns of Castamere by Serge Tankin. I might make you guys listen to that at the end of this, so we don't get hit up with it.
I mean, if we're gonna start making people listen to music.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, we'll put our favorite links down there, and I'll put them on our updated for a Twitch panel of what we talked about, because I'll provide links for everything, because I can do that. I'm pretty sure at one point in time, depending on where I post it, we can play it live. I just don't. I think when it becomes on a video on demand from Twitch or on
Right.
YouTube or Facebook, I think then it becomes a weird copyright infringement.
Especially with YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube will smite me down like a goddamn Nazi. But you know what? Hold on, real fast though. I'm surprised that no one mentioned any of the fucking Zelda music.
It's bland.
I mean,
for me.
it's overrated. I understand
To be
that.
fair, I
but-
didn't finish.
It was,
Oh.
yeah, it was so.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. Go
I
ahead.
mean, at the time, it's probably
Phrasing.
classical and
By the
right
way,
top
phrasing.
notch.
She
But
always
nowadays,
finishes.
it's just bland. Like, I'm playing through Ocarina of Time on the 3DS, and I'm looking at this game
Not always.
and trying to figure out what the magic of it was at the time.
Back then, when we were little kids, we probably haven't. Come on, when we were little kids back then, I'm pretty sure the majority of us listened
I'm also trying to
track
figure out.
after track of like Eminem and Spice Girls and Backstreet Boys and
No,
fucking
no,
Macarena.
never Backstreet for me. I
I
literally
loved Backstreet
at like
Boys.
11 years
Oh
old in
god,
5th grade called that shit a fad, and everyone
Yeah,
called me a
Final
liar.
Fantasy was a good
Like
one.
they're gonna be around forever, and then like a fucking year later, everyone forgot about them.
I didn't.
I-
but I knew
Well,
they were.
I'm just talking
Sorry.
about.
You know your wood cannon is on.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I'm
I
rolling.
was- I wasn't.
I'm just talking
Um,
about how people are still really obsessed with
Like,
like Ocarina of Time, but I just can't figure it out.
Oh yeah, like
I've gone back and
Oh,
played through the game before. It's like
you
this
can
is.
Pavlov the fucking people with that shit, and then you'll instantly.
Like I still
Does
like
it-
Ponya's song, but it has to be done more. It has to be metal.
Yeah, like no, I get that. Like,
But
and okay, so
Zelda's Lullaby.
Nah. Oh, that's overrated and
okay,
shit.
so like,
It's 'cause
around the time you're talking was like 64 and shit like that.
Yeah, that's when I played them.
Oh,
so, like,
interjection real fast. So they're releasing those NES classics and shit. Next one on the dock. Nintendo 64.
I fucking just
Everything's becoming this big.
you know
Like
you
a fucking goddamn size of a toaster
You know what
strudel.
makes me
You can put it in your hand pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah,
just put it on the damn 3DS that they already have.
you know what makes me angry by the way.
I just
I don't
want
know why
to
they
know
don't-
where
I
the
don't know why
port
they
sizes
didn't
are going to
do
come
that.
from that. Like, that thing had huge ass port sizes.
What fucking let's teach in the range, but like, and like I guess like because like when 64 and then the 64, Sega Saturn, PlayStation 1 all came out around the same time area. At that point in time, because of what my family decided to get me versus one shit like that, I firmly switched from like SNES, Nintendo camp into Sony camp, and I did not own another Nintendo game.
That's our moderator. That just tagged me in that.
I didn't play another Nintendo game until fucking GameCube, late GameCube Wii coming out, and I don't.
Who wants to have a double dash party, by the way? I got my GameCube back today.
Double dash.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh,
No.
drunken Mario Karts. Come on, that'd
Shit,
be
I gotta
fun.
get a double-
No, you know what game we should play drunk? Like if we could find like fucking equipment for it, right?
Rock band.
No, Sonic Shuffle.
Guitar Hero's finally really drunk.
Yeah. We should get something with karaoke going. Fuck Colonial.
We go to the
Monkey Duck.
McLivery's.
I thought you
It's
were
on
going
31.
to say Peppers.
Where?
It's down on 31 near the all the car
Yeah,
car
I
sales.
don't think I've ever heard of that place.
yeah, it's popular with younger people.